to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, everybody. Michael.
John.
And I'm Andrew, and you have found the Toy Rewind Podcast. Just a little podcast where the three of us get together and talk about toy lines from our childhood and give you a history lesson about how that toy made it possibly into your homes. This one today, I know made it into ours because I had some of these. We're going back to 1985, and we're going to talk about Madballs, which was originally released by AmToy. I know they've had a few different releases, especially more recent, and companies owning them, but we'll get into that in a little bit. How you guys doing?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah, we missed a week for releasing an episode, but we did have our collector showcase. So hopefully, if you're listening to this, you either caught that on live or maybe on YouTube, maybe listen to it. We had a pretty good talk about diecast collecting from last week, so. Mm-hmm. Lots of fun there. And then also, go ahead, Mike.
I just say we had a great time talking with David, champion DJK. So, yeah.
But by the way, Michael, we need to get him a sticker. I got a collector showcase sticker to get to him. So if you could.
Yeah, I need to get that from you. I was going to send him a pin and stuff too. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. We'll get that if David, if you're listening, you got some good stuff coming to you. Awesome. So we have some other stuff to talk about too before we jump into the history. But before that we do that, John, take a drink and then run us through the socials.
All right. So check our website out at toyrewindpodcast.com. You can also check us out over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Make sure that you put podcast to make sure you get the right one for Toy Rewind. And then we do stream our Toy Box showcases to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm tongue-tied right there. As you're listening to us, you can always play along with our podcast bingo over at podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. Thanks to Andrew. And then, as we did last week, keep up with us so you know when we're going to do our collector showcases on Twitch with our friends over at Geek Together channel.
Yep, make sure you do that. That was a lot of fun. We really got to get better at doing those more. And I think we're going to be a little better in 2022. So you're going to want to follow those. All right. So what I want to chit-chat about real quick is, dang it, sorry, I closed it. I didn't mean to close that window. We want to talk about our toy bracket for a minute.
Toy bracket.
That's in the middle of running. We ran through the first round, and I will be sad to say that I was supposed to start the second round today, and it kind of didn't get started. So we're going to start those again tomorrow. We're going to start those up tomorrow. So I do apologize for anybody that was really trying to get in there and vote today.
So as of listening to this, you mean that they're going to start
yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. So let's chat about this. So I'm going to bring it up. If you're listening, you'll get all of this. But if you're watching, I'm going to bring up some of these graphics that I created that when we post it. So the first round was the Classic NES against Pillow People. Was there any surprise here?
No.
I felt like there was.
That was a runaway.
It was a complete runaway.
Mm-hmm.
The NES beat Pillow People 30-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 30-0. Hot Wheels against Chuck Norris. The Karate Commandos, Chuck Norris.
I like that Hot Wheel picture you got there. Yeah, looks pretty good.
It's a pretty good Hot Wheel picture. I love using that one. That one that's directly from yours.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Hot Wheels won 24-5.
Wow.
24-5. So Chuck Norris got some votes.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. DC Power Collection, DC Superpower Collection against My Buddy and Kid Sister. This one surprised me also because DC Superpower Collection won 24-5. So My Buddy and Kid Sister got some votes on this one also. So kind of interesting there.
Yeah.
Jump a little further down the pack. We've got the Johnny Lightning against the Lost World of the Warlord.
Yeah.
Number 16 versus number 17. And Johnny Lightning won 11-7. So we have some love for some die-cast cards here.
Yeah.
Getting all that. Let's see. We've got Shogun Warriors against Warrior Beasts. I thought this was interesting because we got Warrior in both their names.
Yeah.
Although they didn't fight very well because the Shogun Warriors, they just used their robotic, arms and stuff and just beat the Warrior Beast 11-8.
Okay.
So, it was close. Not too bad. Not
too bad. Yeah.
Monsters in My Pocket versus Raggedy Ann and Andy. I was a little sad. Raggedy Ann and Andy did not win this. Monsters in My Pocket won 14-9. So that was a close one.
That was closer than I thought it would be. Yeah.
It was a little closer than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah.
I figured one of those was going to just smash the other one.
Yeah.
I didn't know which way it was going to go. It depended on how many classic people we had while we had doing this. Star Trek: The Motion Picture and Slot Cars. Who you guys think won that one?
Slot Cars.
Slot Cars won at 12-9.
Yeah.
So there you go. Got that one. Thundercats versus Inhumanoids. This was one. Go ahead, John, because I know how you voted.
Inhumanoids.
Yeah.
It would have been a really good one, but I mean, everybody knows Thundercats.
I think if Inhumanoids had gone up against something else, they would definitely have made it into the next round.
I think so
but
too.
Going up against Thundercats, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's gonna be
a huge number too.
So that was 26-4. Thundercats beat that 26-4.
Yeah, I think I'm like John. I think if the Humanoids went up against something else, they would have definitely.
Yeah, had they gone up against any of the monsters that we talked about, Monsters in My Pocket, you know. I think the ones that were going to beat them out of the gate would have been Hot Wheels, Johnny Lightning, Ghostbusters, those kind of,
Yeah.
So this is a good one. Glowworms against Best of the West. This was our first, what would technically be an upset, because we, based off of our rankings, it put Best of the West at 10th seed and Glowworms was the 23rd seed. Glowworms beat Best of the West 23-5.
Wow.
So
I think it's more of people knowing what this one was.
Yeah, they know Glowworm more than Best of the West.
We rank off of what we were talking about and how we after we've studied up on these.
And I think we talked about this last time. I don't know if we talked about it this time, but the seeding is done based off of our rankings. So we go through all of them. We average out the numbers between the three of us, and that's how we seed these when we put them into the bracket. So it's not like we're just willy-nilly putting things up against each other. So there's a little bit of science to it. All right, we're gonna skip one. We'll come back to it. Lincoln International Monsters against Battle Beasts. This one, where's it at? I'm looking for it. Lincoln International Monsters. Where's it at? They did not. There it is. There it is. Battle Beast won 23-5.
Okay.
So that's not too bad. Then we got the Remco movie monsters against My Pet Monster. Pointed out to me that I labeled this one wrong a couple different times. Too many monsters.
There's a lot of monsters.
Kind of threw me off. My Pet Monster did win this. Technically, again with this, another upset. 25 beating an 8. But won 25-11.
Wow!
So there was actually a good amount of votes on that one.
Now, if we would have did Lincoln International against the Remco monsters, they're both the classic movie monsters. Which way would you think you guys would have gone? I think I would have went to the Remco because of the detail. A little bit better in the detail.
I'm thinking Remco.
That's what I was thinking, Remco. Which is actually, if you look at this, Remco was at number 8 seed. And Lincoln International Monsters 22 seed.
Okay.
So I think that tells you enough right there. We ranked them way higher.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look Strawberry Shortcake and Cops and Crooks. Cops and Crooks did not win this. Strawberry Shortcake won it.
That's upsetting.
22-18. 22-18.
And again, I think that's a lot of what people remember from, Cops and Crooks did good, but everybody knows Strawberry Shortcake.
I think that a lot of people wanted to see Strawberry Shortcake make it to the next round. So we got Filmation's Ghostbusters against Rainbow Bright. This was another one that was very close. Not as close as it really should have been. But Filmation Ghostbusters beat Rainbow Bright 21-16. Still pretty close compared to what some of these other ones were.
So I wouldn't have thought that, but I think with the real Ghostbusters, the new movie that just came out, Afterlife, the Ghostbuster name is up. Maybe somebody they were thinking that
it's kind of up there. These were some awesome toys.
Yeah, they were good toys. Yeah. But I would have thought Rainbow Bright would have won that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we have one more after this, but we're going to talk about Ronin Warriors versus Marvel Secret Wars. Marvel Secret Wars ran away with this 33-3. Wow. So that was pretty good. All right, now we need to talk about this last one. Army Men against
Big Will.
Big Will. Anybody care to guess who won this one?
Big Will.
Oh, that's right. This was a toss-up. It was actually a tie after all the voting, and it went 14-14, which means the first time we had to break out the tiebreaker, which we had a few different ways that we were going to do this, but we came down to one solid tie-breaking thing because we talked about this. I didn't want there to be a chance that they would tie again. So we asked 3 people to vote. Those 3 people voted, and Big Will won this by 1 vote. Those 3 people were our wives, which means that really, because I have a feeling that they all voted in the first round, that means all their votes count twice, and that's fine because they're our wives and they're more important than anything else.
Yeah, they are.
So,
and I told Rainey, I said, well, we got a tie. Let's break it. We need to break it down. So we're asking you to give your vote, and I didn't tell her what Bryony. I know Bryony had voted first. I didn't tell her what she had voted for. I just said it's either Big Wheels or Army Men, and she said Big Wheel. I said, okay.
Then that's what I told Megan. I was like, okay, Big Wheels or Army Men? Which one would you go for again? She goes, Army Men. I was like, yeah.
And that's what I did with Bryony.
So
they
didn't know.
The
yeah, they didn't know who voted for what until after they had made their vote. So
right. So that leaves us with the second round, and we're just going to run through these real quick, and we'll talk maybe a little bit after it. We've got the NES versus Johnny Lightning, Thundercats versus My Pet Monster, Hot Wheels against Monster in My Pocket, Big Wheel against Filmation's Ghostbusters, the 3-inch G.I. Joes against Shogun Warriors, Glowworm against Strawberry Shortcake. That's going to be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
DC Superpower Collection against Slot Cars, and Battle Beast against Marvel Secret Wars. The first 4 of those will go up tomorrow, and then the next 4 will go up on Thursday. So by Saturday, we'll know who's making it to the final 8.
Now, looking at that, I know we talked about this in our showcase last week with Champ about the possibility of Johnny Lightning and Hot Wheels coming up against each other, but Johnny Lightning has to go through the NES, the Nintendo. So that's not going to happen. What is there a way where DC and Marvel come up against each other?
Let's see.
Their brackets?
Yes, actually, yes. Yeah. So I predict DC will win against Slot Cars, and Marvel will win against Battle Beast. That puts DC directly against Marvel.
Yeah. Okay. So I was wondering if that was going to happen. Yeah. So I think that is going to happen then if they're coming in the next round after this round that we're about to start, then I predict they both win and they're up against each other. Yeah.
My predictions for the next round is going to be NES against Thundercats, Hot Wheels against that one's the Big Wheel. Filmation Ghostbusters is the big question for me.
Yeah,
that's the one out of these that I'm not absolutely sure. That one, along with Glowworm and Strawberry Shortcake, I just don't know where they're going.
Yeah, those two rounds are going to be those two.
G.I. Joe will beat Shogun Warriors. It's pretty much set. We know that that's probably going to happen. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see when it all comes down to it. But this has been a fun one to watch. I know last time we had that first round was a lot of blowouts. This one, we only had one that was a real blowout. Or, well, I guess we had two because we had the 33-3.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, like, it was a good amount of votes for what they were. And, I thought it went really well. And we got some good challenges this next round. So,
yeah.
All right.
We'll play it out and see how it ends.
Saying that, so this comes out on Thursday. So you're going to be listening to us as these are still active for you to vote in this round. So make sure you go and vote.
Vote
if
on.
You haven't.
There are two ways to vote. I want to make sure everybody knows this. There are two ways to vote. You can vote on Instagram in our stories. Those are 24-hour polls that run. You can also go to Twitter and vote at Twitter. And those are 48-hour polls.
Or you can do them both.
Speaking of the devil, Dad's calling me. I don't know what Dad's calling me for. I'll talk to you later, Dad. Go vote on both. So you can vote both systems, but those are the way to vote. Just remember, Instagram's a 24-hour and Twitter is a 48-hour. So there's technically 48 hours there that you can vote. So, all right.
You know what we need? We need Toy Rewind I voted stickers. That's what we need.
Ed, we need Toy Rewind I voted stickers. Can you make that happen? Get us a good design. We'll get some printed out. We'll send them to you if you vote. You got to tell us you voted. Actually, I can see who voted on Instagram. Twitter's a little harder to actually see who votes. Yeah. We could just see how many votes there are and for each one. So, all right. This week we are talking about Madballs. And I would like to say that this will be number one on all of our lists because this is the first one. This is the first one on round 3 of our brackets. So, you guys ready?
Yep. We can talk about Madball. There's Mad Eye. I was going to say Madball Mooney, but
kind of off there.
Sorry.
Stop trying to make Harry
Mooney,
Potter.
not Mad Eye Mooney. We're talking about Madballs. Okay. Let's go.
All right. Let's rewind.
Start over. All right, so we're going to talk about Madballs is what we're going to talk about. So, like Andrew said, this debuted in 1985 and was created by AmToy, which we have talked about before in the past with Strawberry Shortcake and Care Bears. So, AmToy is a subsidiary, easy for you to say, of American Greeting Cards, which is also consisted of those characters from Cleveland. I know we talked about that with the Care Bears episode. So, Madballs were like these foam balls, similar to Nerf balls, but consisted of gross out features. Kind of like Garbage Pail Kids. So, with Strawberry Shortcake and Care Bears gearing more towards the girls, AmToy wanted to come up with something that targeted more towards boys. So they had two ideas that came out of their thinking. They had My Pet Monster, which we've talked about before too, and then Madballs is the other one. So the original concept came from the AmToy team kicking around ideas based on the hot potato game. If you know what that is, it's just where you pass a potato around during music, and then when the music stops, whoever gets stuck with it is out of the game. So, yeah. So that's kind of what they were trying to come up with something with that. So, so they were sketching out little things for the potato to look like, and one sketch had a depiction of a grotesque face on it, and so that kind of came up as a competition between the creators to see who can come up with the most gross out sketch they could find that they can come up with, and all those sketches came up to be the original designs of what these balls look like. So there were in the first release there was 8 different balls in the original release, each having character synopsis and an odd name that fit with its theme. I'm having trouble talking today. So on the back of each card had a little synopsis of what each of them kind of meant. So these not only had gross out effect like the Garbage Pail Kids, but could also be played with like a real ball. So you can actually throw them back and forth, take them outside. You can peg your little brother upside the head with it, whatever you wanted to do. So
sounds like you had familiar,
yeah,
backflashes of actually I had doing
so, that. Yeah. So the first series consisted of 8 balls. There was Screaming Mimi, which was a screaming baseball with a large tongue sticking out, hanging out, kind of like as it was flying, like if you hit a home run, the little ball starts shredding apart and the little face comes up and everything. So then you had Slobulus. This was a drooling green creature with one eye hanging out of its eye socket. You had Arg, which was a one-eyed blue-skinned Frankenstein monster-esque creature with stitching all over its face. Then you had Bash Brain. He was a gory zombie head with a partially exposed brain. Hornhead, horned Cyclops with a nose ring. Then you had Dust Brain, which was a mummy with rotting teeth and wrinkly teal skin. Oculus Orbis, which was a bloodshot eyeball. So all it was a big eyeball with the bloodshot lines in it. And then Skullface, which was a skull with large eye sockets, had tiny little red eyes, big teeth, and a partially exposed brain on that.
Yeah, let's talk about Bash Brain's real name.
Yes,
I cannot not let this come up.
Yeah.
I mean, Crackhead is what they originally came out with.
Yeah, the original name was Crackhead, and they decided that it referenced too much towards the drug dealing people or drug using people.
Well,
so
I wonder how they got to that.
One of the deals that I read said that they did not realize that name was used for drug people.
It was 1985.
How did you not know that?
Yeah, it was 1985. Who didn't know that at that point? Somebody lied. Somebody lied.
They hang out with their goody two shoe greeting card writing people. So they really do.
I'm sure one of those was a crackhead.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
You're gonna get us kicked off the air, John.
We've been canceled.
So one thing real quick on the balls themselves, it excuse me.
You all right, Michael? We need to take a break. Let's take a timeout. All right, everybody, just give us 30 seconds.
Okay, so on the back of it, it actually had where it had the copyright date and stuff on there. It actually had their names on imprinted into the back of the ball with the copyright date and all that kind of stuff on there too.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. All right, so the second series, also, sorry, I got the giggles now.
We know how this is going to last. You might as well just
Gigglebox got turned upside down.
Yeah, just go ahead, move on.
Okay, all right. So take 2. The second series also had 8 balls in it. There was Snake Bait, which had a fork tongue sporting gorgon is what it says on here. What they call it. It's kind of like a snake looking thing with its tongue sticking out. There was Freaky Fullback, which was a mutant football player. Splitting Headache, which was a monster with half its face peeled off. You had Bruise Brother. It was an ugly biker with a battered blue helmet. There's a lot of bees in that one. Wolf Breath, which was a werewolf with large rotten fangs with dripping blood on them. Fist Face was a severed hand clutching an eyeball. And Swine Sucker, an ugly drooling wild boar. And then Lock Lips, a creature with its jaw locked shut and one eye covered by a riveted plate on him. So, there was also a larger line of Madballs called Super Madballs. These were like almost actual size of the real ball. So you had 3 different ones. You had a football, a soccer ball, and a basketball. So the football was called Touchdown Terror. It was a football with a manic grin and missile-like fins on it. You had Goal Eater, which was the soccer ball. It had very large pointed teeth. And then Foul Shot, which was the basketball bursting open to reveal a face with worms crawling out of one eye socket. So you can imagine playing basketball with this face staring up at you with worms coming out. So
Right.
But like I said, these were foam, so you really couldn't. I guess you can kick the soccer ball around, but the basketball wouldn't bounce. It would bounce a little bit, but not not enough to play basketball with.
No,
you just
couldn't dribble with it.
You could do free shots or something with it. That's about it.
Since you mentioned what they're made out of, let's go back to the original series. So they first were produced out of hard rubber, and then
it was a harder foam. It was still a foam, but it was a harder foam. Yeah.
It was foam that basically had the hard like paint stuff on it that made it harder.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. They switched to foam because the
Yes.
kids were hurting each other because, like Michael said,
throwing them.
He had too much fun throwing them at his siblings' heads. So kids were getting bruised real bad, and
yeah, they had to soften.
Some of them that had the noses or whatnot that protruded would actually do more damage than a bruise.
Yeah.
So then they switched over to the Nerf-like foam.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it made it a lot softer. Yeah.
Yeah, so they wouldn't get sued.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to sue toy companies. Play with their toys the way you're supposed to play with them, and don't be stupid.
Well, if you're stupid, that's just because you're stupid.
That's a Toy Rewind. you know when you buy a pack of cigarettes and it's got the general warning or the general surgeon's warning on it. This is the Toy Rewind warning. No. Don't be stupid. Play with the toys the way you're supposed to play with them. Otherwise, we're going to end up in all the stupid lawsuits and yeah.
Right. Then you don't get to see the toys much more.
Yeah, we don't get cool toys anymore. That's why we don't have anything good anymore. That's why all of us are trying to collect 80s toys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
All right. So they had some other little things. They had like stickers and coloring books,
video games
and all this kind of stuff. They had a video game. But another toy line that came out of this as well was the head popping Madballs. These were actually posable figures. They you had your figures in which the bodies kind of matched the head. The head was the ball, and you would snap it onto the body, and you squeeze it, and the head would pop up. So you could also swap out the heads as well. But there was the first series of these, there was one series, but the first 6 that were released were from Series 1 characters balls. So you had Dustbrain, Skullface, Screaming Mimi, Oculus Orbis, Hornhead, and Slobulus. And then, Andrew's got a picture of them there. And then there was 3 more that were released with this that were from the Series 2 balls. So you had Bruise Brother, Wolf Breath, and Lock Lips. So that's
these things are awesome.
So I don't remember these, but I think they're really cool.
I don't remember these either.
I don't remember the figures. No, I just remember the balls themselves.
Yeah. Now, John, I know you mentioned you wanted to get some of these.
Yeah. So I was like, these are cool. I want to get one. So I automatically just went to eBay and looked them up on eBay. And then I was like, never mind.
How much you see them for?
Well, there's a Slobulus head popping vintage action figure sealed for $125.
Yep.
The others out of package are going for $99 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the body on a couple of them is $40. And
that's cheaper than what I saw them when I looked this up a week ago.
Okay, so
because I saw the bodies for 60 to 80.
Well, it's various, but
yeah,
I'm like, okay, here's Here's one of Oculus Orbulus. He's out of package and $250. So I mean, just like anything else, it depends on what they want to put the price on and what do you want to pay for.
Right. It's only worth what somebody will pay for it. But yeah.
Yeah. Now looking at these, I'm just kind of describe the bodies a little bit here. You got Dust Brain. We said he's the mummy looking one. His body looks like a mummy. He's wrapped up. And these got a little bit of articulation to them too, because they're like action figures. Their shoulders and their elbows
and their elbows bend,
and
so
their hips.
That's 4. Do their hips move? I couldn't remember if their hips right at the hip.
I think their legs move at the hip. So
that's what it is. So you've got 6 points of articulation, or I guess you could say 7. Count the head that turns.
Yeah. But like I said, Dust Brain looks like a mummy body. Skull Face over there, he's got like a skeleton body. Screaming Mimi, his body looks like a baseball player. Looks like he's wearing a baseball glove on one hand.
Let's talk about it. That's the most normal one of all of these balls.
Yeah,
it's just like a baseball that has a face on it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they were made by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 different people, and that's the most normal person. Like that couldn't think of anything that day. He was like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take a baseball and put a face on it. Like, I guess it's not normal, but just like the one that just had no imagination that day.
Yeah. Then you have Oculus Orbis, the eyeball. His body just looks like a body of muscle with no skin on it. Just looks like the muscles.
It reminds me of Attack on Titan with the body. It's just muscles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see who else you got. You got Hornhead. Right here up front is where he's at. He looks like he's just got just a monster body. I guess kind of a brownish. He's the one that's got the horn on his head. He's like the Cyclops, and he's got the ring in his nose.
Can't even really tell he's got a horn on his head in this picture.
Yeah.
Slobulus, the one with the eyes hanging out. His body it's just a green body with a bunch of stitching, and it looks like he's got his stomach or his heart or something coming out of his chest. It's just kind of gross looking.
It kind of looks like he's covered with ooze, and then you see the stitching.
And Bruise Brother, like he's a biker, so he kind of looks like a biker body.
I couldn't tell if it was a biker or a football player from this one, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got that patch on one eye. I
guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
if you can see his whole body, he's got this still that goes across his body, so it looks like it's I'd almost say like tread marks. That's what it looks like. So it kind of goes more to the biker side.
Okay. All right. And then you got Wolf Breath. He's a werewolf. And Lock Lips. He's just got a green body that matches his head color. He's got chains. Looks like he's got chains
and locks
and more steel plating kind of riveted on him in his chest and on his back and stuff. So, but yeah, that's the figures there. They also came out with a one little cartoon that came out straight to VHS. They never made it to prime time on Saturday mornings or weekday afternoons or anything. So I just had one, and I watched some of it. It wasn't the best cartoon.
I was about to say, please tell me one of you attempted to watch this, because I did, and it was horrible.
It's not a good cartoon. But the Madballs are up against the bad guy, which is Dr. Frankenbeans is his name. They also had a Marvel Comics also came out with which one was it? Their Star Comics brand, the little kids version comic brand they have. They had a 10 comic book release on that. It was supposed to be 3, and it was so popular enough where they extended it to 10. So, and it was just about them going up against Dr. Frankenbeans. It's kind of what it is. So,
yeah.
Since with their just like everything else in the 80s, you had people come out and kind of mimic such a good idea. So they had several other companies in the late '80s that kind of ripped them off. You had like Ugly Balls, and there was what's some other imitator. Oh, Burt Balls, which was actually a ball that when you squeezed it, another ball came out of its mouth. You had Weird Balls, you had Spit Balls, but they're all kind of just ugly, grotesque looking idea on those. No, they were just imitating the Madballs.
So this is another one that I searched for original price and couldn't find one. Either one of you see original prices anywhere?
No.
Okay.
No, but they were pretty cheap enough where if they were parents would pick them up because of the price point.
So that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking at the most we're talking $6.
Yeah, actually,
and
I don't even
about
$3 back then.
See, I was thinking it was probably $3 to $4, but I was saying at most $6.
Yeah,
because you remember, some of them or whatever.
Yeah, I never saw an original price on these.
That's about $15 today. If you looked at if they were $6. So you do 3 or 4. Let's just go through.
I'm thinking they were around $3 for just the regular Madball.
That's like $9 today. I'd pay $9 for one of these.
Yeah. Now the bigger ones were probably about $6. The three
bodies,
the super Madballs.
Yeah. So they do sell for pretty high. John was talking about the ones, the full action figure ones. The balls themselves range anywhere from $20 out of package. These are just out of package, $20 to $100. In package, still sealed, you're looking at almost 200, if not more, depending on the rarity of some of them. I did see a prototype of Hornhead for $200. Obviously not in a package, just a prototype. So pretty good pricing. You can get a pack of 6 of these for about $75, depending on which ones they were. That's about the range that they went for. The ones with the bodies. Yeah, I was seeing them. There was a Creepy Bods. The Dr. Guts was $152. So some pretty good prices. The comic books selling for about $15 to $16.
Yeah.
So lots of crazy stuff there on prices. I don't know if I would pay that much for one of these, especially since I remember having these, and I remember throwing them and them, like any Nerf ball, they eventually had their wear and tear. The paint would crack on it, and you left them outside or whatever, and they would be torn up.
Yeah, if you leave them outside, they definitely not last very long with that foam.
Yeah. So these are they're cool. And I would get one if I could get a body for a good price, and just set on the shelf. But I don't have any need for one. I think they're pretty awesome, and I remember them being pretty cool and fun. But yeah.
Well, let's see here. So in 2014, they hit the runway with some. Here, let me show you.
Let's see this. What are we talking about? Hitting the runway. Oh, they made
the idea of them to make some shirts and stuff, and the guy hit them.
So they did. Let's talk about the these have changed hands 3 times or twice, I guess. So AmToy did the original ones, and then Art Asylum picked them up and rebooted it in 2007. And
AmToy still, American Greeting still owns the rights to the Madballs. They just were leasing it out. Yeah,
they just leased these out. So they picked it up for a year, 2 years, and they did their own version. They basically redid all the originals that I saw, and then maybe stylized a few new ones.
Yeah,
but not a lot. And then Just Play did it recently in 2017 to 2019. So very recent. These are more the rubber balls. And kind of like the same thing. They just restylized the ones. They actually did change the logo though And it's a newer logo. I actually like the new logo. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
So it's not the one you'll see on any of our stuff because we're talking about the classic ones. So I don't think these are really going anywhere. I think people would still, you could probably bring them back again another 10 years and people are going to buy them. They're kind of interesting little idea.
I think just the nostalgia of them they're cool to bring back occasionally and remind people.
I don't remember which one of the companies, let me see. One of the companies, I don't remember which one, did the horror balls, and basically took all of our favorite classic horror, Chucky, Pennywise, Pinhead, the Xenomorph. I can't even say it. The alien, Xenomorph. Predator,
face hugger, and stuff like that.
Yeah, face hugger, Leatherface, Freddy, and Jason, and did all of those. I think that was the one that released in 2017 with Just Play, but I don't remember. It might have been Art Asylum. Yeah. So I think it's kind of cool. You've got new stuff coming out, all kinds of stuff. Funko should make pops out of these. I think that'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
If they'd have to do them round though. You couldn't do them in their Funko heads. They'd have to be round.
They'd have to be round, but since you do have the bodies of them already for the pop heads,
yeah,
I think they could use that and still have the bodies be that grotesque and stuff, and then the heads. It'd be pretty cool.
I think it'd be pretty cool. It'd be
Come on,
pretty awesome.
Funko.
Come on, Funko. Do something fun. Let's have some fun with these. It's in your name.
Well, I mean, they have done Garbage Pail Kids, right? On some Funko.
They have done some Garbage Pail Kids stuff.
So Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah. So the grotesque thing would work. So
I know we talked about this, and this is a new round, but we do need to show that this ranking is going to be number one for all of us. And that is a bingo card. That is a bingo card. I would like to just point out, since we have the rankings up, if you wanted to go back, I've added this feature to where you could actually pull up all of our old rankings for each round of our brackets, all the way to the first rounds. So you can go back and look at those. But this is round 3. This is where you'll see when it loads up, and it is Madballs at number 1 for all of us. So
Madballs.
Now I guess I was going to say, where do you think this would fall in a top 10? But we don't know what those 10 are because it always changes. So there's no way to even try to rank these anything else.
This would probably be just, I don't know what all we got coming up. I know a little bit, but the big name stuff that we have listed, it'd probably be in the lower top 10 of mine.
Just because you like to knock us in the head with them. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I don't know if these would have made if somebody was like, hey, list your top 25 toys from your childhood. I don't know if these would have made it in. I remember having 1 or 2, but
the top 25 it wouldn't make of that. But of the stuff we've already talked about, a lot of those we've already talked about. So out of the stuff that's coming up,
out of the stuff that was coming up, I think this probably will be in the top 10 for. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. There's 31 other toys. I don't know. It depends on what those 31 are.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and
Atari.
We'll talk about all those, and then
2600.
Yeah. So I think these are cool though. Like I said, even the figures makes these kind of interesting. Right. So. Yeah.
I think I realized Michael liked to throw stuff at our heads a lot.
He did,
even when he didn't mean to.
Yeah.
and
any stitches above my eye.
Yeah.
That's what a pitcher does, Michael. They stand in front of the batter, and they throw a ball at the batter. The batter then hits the ball, but usually it does not hit the. Yeah.
The ball usually doesn't have a little rubber stump on it from where you cut it off the rope, because it was on a rope at one time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's also true.
His luck, that stump was the part that hit him, and not the round part of the ball.
Well, I don't remember seeing the ball either.
Anything else we want to add about Madballs before we wrap this one?
No, I think they're pretty cool. I remember them. Yeah, I think they're pretty neat.
Okay.
Anybody
Awesome.
want to donate one or a figure, I'll take them and add them to my collection.
John will take them and do
You
that.
just
So,
gotta
all right.
hit up the vintage stores around town and see if you can find you one.
See if you find one. All right, then.
Speaking of that, I should be at the Dusty Attic Toy Show. They have a 2-day weekend this weekend instead of just Sunday. They're doing Saturday and Sunday for the holidays for Christmas shopping. I will be at the Saturday show if anybody wants to stop by and say hi.
That's the 11th.
The 11th, yes.
The 11th, yes. I want to make sure I was right. I will try. I may be there also. So stop by.
May have to see if I can find some Madballs.
There you go. That's what we need. That's what I'm going to go and try to see if we can find toys that we've talked about. All right. Well, with that, we're going to wrap it on Madballs, but be sure you follow all those social medias that John talked about earlier, because remember, we are right in the middle of a bracket, round 2 of our bracket. And I'm going to throw this out there. At the end of this, I'm going to go and I'm going to find all the people that voted for the champion. So no matter what round it is. So when NES wins, anybody that votes for NES will be thrown into a little pool. I'm going to select a winner. They are going to get stickers, a pin, at least one pin, and something else that I have in a box upstairs. All right. Okay. So we're going to do a little giveaway. So you need to go and vote specifically for NES now, because we know that. No. You go and vote for whatever it is. But if you have voted for whoever becomes the winner, whoever is the winner, you're going to get thrown into a bucket and we're going to pull a name out and you're going to win something. We're going to contact you. You don't have to do anything else. Follow our socials because we'd love to have those follows, but you don't have to tweet anything. You can, if you want to, you can tell people to follow us and listen to us and go vote. Hello. That's great. But you don't have to do that. All you just vote and then you get thrown into a little bucket and we're going to do it. If you happen to be trying to catch up on this podcast and it is, 2030, this contest is no longer going on at that point. This contest is only good for December of 2021. So I don't want anybody contacting me later being like, hey.
Only valid through 2021.
There you go. Yeah. So be sure you go follow those. While you're there, go check out Cross Streams Media, where we partner with them and a whole bunch of other podcasts, including the Dorksmen, the STS guys, Secondary Heroes, 3 Beers on a Mic, the Movie Gap, the Dan Aykroyd podcast, Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast, Front Row Negative, The Art of the Boar, and Beering Ain't Easy, because it ain't. Michael was on Front Row Negative. That was a pretty good episode.
I want to thank those guys again for having me on.
Yep. We were talking about a bunch of different crossovers with a bunch of different podcasts there. So expect to hear one of them in this domain in the coming future. So be do that. So check that out. Leave us a rating as a review. If you leave us a ratings and review on Apple, we will send you stickers. So please do that. We love to just send stuff out and get those. They help us with Apple. And it's a lot of great stuff. We want everybody to hear our podcast so they can learn about and just feel nostalgia about all of these great toys that we've talked about. Collector showcases coming up. We've got a new little schedule that we're probably going to be doing in January. You'll hear more about that as we get through the month. And so what else we got? Anything else? Did we miss anything?
No. I think we're all good right now.
All right. Be sure you head out Dusty Attic. Follow their Instagram and Twitter also, because they always post different stuff. And, go check it out, especially if you're in the North Texas area.
Yeah. Dusty Attic Toy Show, DATS for short. Yeah, it's good.
If you're in Seattle or if you're in New England and you want to come to the show, please do, but don't feel like you have to, If you're in North Texas, please come see the show. Say hi. Say hi to Randy,
Charlie,
who were on one of our Toy Rewind or one of our collector showcases. So be sure you say hi to them. Let them know that Toy Rewind sent you, and then they'll come and say thank you to us, and we like that because that's awesome. So also, if you do that, we'll send you a sticker. We'll send you all kinds of stickers. All right. What else we got? Anything?
Nope. I think
John?
we just established that. Nothing else.
Just want to make sure. Don't want to lose anything. All right. Well, then this is what episode is this? 66.
66.
Oh, that's right, because we've been syndicated for 2 weeks. The second week, our first actual week of syndication. After we made,
we're working on season 2 of syndication.
We're working on season 2 of syndication here. So, all right. Well, on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.